Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus.
Good morning from the KOZY studios. This is Michael Davis. Today's topic is the Grand Rapids Players production of Yes, Virginia, There is a Santa Claus. We're talking with some of the cast and crew. And first up is David Martin, the director.
Introduce yourself and tell me what you're doing with the show.
I'm David Martin. I'm supposedly directing the show.
Okay. Now this is your first time out directing. You've done quite a few other shows with the players.
Right.
How's the directing coming? Is it pulling out your hair, or are you having fun?
A little of both. It's the one thing with directing, you've got all the responsibility and actually no power to do anything. You can say please a lot, and that's all you can threaten, but that's really all you can do.
But you've got a good cast.
If I threaten them, yeah.
Absolutely. Now you've got a cute term for the youngsters in the class, in the cast. What is that?
My round-headed little mutants, yeah. They would say they're oval-faced angels, but they're not. They're round-headed little mutants, yeah.
How's the show going?
Pretty good. I'm looking forward to seeing how it looks once all the lighting is there and the costumes and everything to really pull it together. But timing-wise, I think it's really coming together.
Yeah, so. I agree. I think it is working out really good. Now, I've asked everybody, just about everybody else in your cast, this question, and it's a really important question.
Uh-oh.
Do you believe in Santa Claus?
Of course.
Our second chat is with Sam Grigsby, assistant director and one of the performers.
All right, introduce yourself.
Sam Grigsby.
And Sam, you're wearing a couple hats in the show. Tell me what you're doing.
Well, I'm playing Dominic Donnelly, James O'Hanlon's friend. I'm playing Santa Claus, and I'm the assistant director for the play.
You got bit really bad last year about this time, didn't you?
Yeah, it was about this time last year where I came up to help my son work backstage and kind of got thrown on the stage to fill in It's a Wonderful Life. And yeah, I did get bit. It's I enjoy it.
It's a lot of fun. It is. What can you tell me about Dom? Real quick thumbnail. Tell me about Dom.
Dominic's just a poor Italian living in New York. He was good friends with James O'Hanlon, and he's got his wife Celeste is very ill at this time, so he's dealing with a lot of issues besides the fact that he's out of work, in the part of the play.
I'm asking everybody in the show, is there a Santa Claus?
Well, Mike, I'm 43 years old, and I still believe there's a Santa Claus.
Randy Rupelius, current president of the Grand Rapids Players, is portraying Edward Mitchell, the narrator of our show.
Randy, introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Randy Rupelius. I'm playing the part of Edward P. Mitchell, the editor-in-chief of the New York Sun.
And you're the one that gets the very important letter.
Yes, actually I'm the one that puts the whole thing together, that sets Frank Church on his little mission to write this article.
Okay, and I mean we all know the outcome of it because it's history. I mean this is very historic.
It's world famous, yes.
Yeah. Now you've been on both sides of the curtain. You've been directing.
True.
You've performed. Is there any challenges to this one?
There's a challenge to everyone you do. Especially when you're acting, you've got to turn yourself into a specific character. You can't be yourself, you've got to be that character. So there's always a challenge to that. Sometimes when you're behind the scenes and you're directing, it's a little easier because you can just imagine and tell them what you want and hope that they can come up with it. But when you're acting, you actually have to come up with that part and be that person.
Having fun with this?
I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast. This will be my last production on stage. Unless something really good comes along for me, but so this is going to be my finale, and I'm kind of excited about it.
All right. Well, I got one important question I'm asking everybody in the cast.
Okay.
Do you believe in Santa Claus?
Absolutely.
Anna Carpenter stepped right up to fill some very important shoes, that of 8-year-old Virginia O'Hanlon.
Okay. Anna, give me your name.
Anna Carpenter.
Okay, Anna. And who are you playing in the show?
Virginia O'Hanlon.
Boy, I don't think there's anybody more important in the show than you. Have you had fun? Are you having fun?
Yes, a lot.
Have Is this your first time doing a show?
No.
You've done some others?
Yes, a couple.
What can you tell me about Virginia?
She's very, very concerned, is there a Santa Claus? And she's not focusing on anything else. She just really wants to know if there's a Santa Claus.
Okay. And I'm going to ask everybody in the cast this. Anna, do you believe there's a Santa Claus?
I think there is.
O'Hanlon's famous letter to the New York Sun is answered by Frank Church, portrayed by Nathan Bergstead.
Okay, Nathan, tell me who you play and give me a little quick thumbnail on your character.
Well, my name's Nathan Bergstead. I'm playing Frank P. Church. He's the newspaper man who writes the famous editorial response to Virginia's letter, her question about whether or not there's a Santa Claus. Frank is a very sad character. He the year before he lost his wife in childbirth, and he became a hopeless drunk ever since. And then now, reaching the 1-year anniversary of losing his wife and child, he's become suicidal. And it's because of the good graces of his employer, Mr. Mitchell, that Frank finds a reason to, keep on living.
Okay. Challenges?
Well, he's a suicidal drunk, and so that it's an interesting mindset. Trying to think about what this character is thinking. It's I'm personally not a suicidal drunk, so it's been an interesting process trying to put myself in this character's shoes to get some sort of even basic understanding of his pain as to what would drive him to the his current state.
Okay. Last question. I'm going to ask this for everybody in the cast. Is there a Santa Claus?
Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus.
Virginia's letter was sent to the Sun because her father, James O'Hanlon, played by Tony Schmidt, says if you see it in the sun, it is true.
Tony, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tony Schmidt.
And Tony, who are you doing? You're in the show.
Yes.
Who are you playing?
I play James O'Hanlon.
And what can you tell me about James?
James is a man who is Irish. He came over, he immigrated from Ireland during the early stages of immigration. And he came over looking for a better life for him and his family, and he landed in New York. And he's trying to make best with everything that he has, and sadly, he hasn't been doing as successful as he wanted to. He's been struggling a lot. He's been worried about his family, and he's trying to provide, and being in a country that was very unhappy about all the immigrants that showed up, it's been very hard on him and the family, and he's doing his best to try to make ends meet, and sadly sometimes he doesn't have enough food to put on the table, to not enough money to pay for rent, and he's living in a crappy old apartment and on the rough side of town, and he's trying to do his best, and it's hard, but he's definitely putting forth the effort.
Okay, and it's Christmas time of year, so it's a really, really tough on him.
Mm-hmm.
And matter of fact, your daughter in the play comes up with the question. I mean, if it wasn't for this question, we wouldn't be having the show.
Oh yeah.
What do you tell her to do? She asks you. What do you tell her?
She asked me the question, the ultimate question that every child has growing up. Is there a Santa Claus? And I don't give her an outright answer because I don't myself know. I mean, I would love to have a Santa Claus, and I hope there's a Santa Claus, but I don't want to hit Virginia with this uncertainty. And so I tell her that if the newspaper prints that there is a Santa Claus. Well, the newspaper is always truth. So if the newspaper says that there's a Santa Claus, then there is a Santa Claus out there. So I tell her to look for it in her newspaper that we have all the time, that I rummage out of the trash because I can't afford to buy my own. And so she looks at that newspaper like it's the book of truth. And I told her that she needs to watch that newspaper closely, for if Santa's out there, somebody will catch him and they'll print about him in the newspaper.
All right. Now, and I'm asking everybody this. Tony, is there a Santa Claus?
I would say yes, there is a Santa Claus. The miracles that we see around this time of the year are not very easily explained. A lot of people say that God's behind all the miracles and all the wondrous stuff about him, and I personally feel that that he is there. But I also think that he's got a helper running around on the streets, and that's where Santa Claus comes into play. He's doing the bidding of things that God can't do himself. He's like a helper, so to speak. That's what I picture Santa Claus is, and he's definitely been around for many, many years. And I would say, growing up with a great supportive family, that there is a Santa Claus out there. I definitely feel that.
Okay.
Virginia's best friend is Maria Donnelly, portrayed by Lydia Mariano.
What do you want me to talk about?
Lydia, introduce yourself.
I'm Lydia Mariano.
And who are you playing in this show?
Maria.
Maria Donnelly, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What can you tell me about Maria?
She's a nice little girl, and she's cheerful, and she believes in Santa Claus, and she's Virginia's best friend.
Okay. You've done quite a few other shows for the players, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I know, because we've had you in them. I'm asking everybody in the cast this question. Lydia, do you believe there's a Santa Claus?
No, but I think it's fun to pretend that there is one.
Okay, that's good.
The performance opens on Friday, November 25th at the Rife Center. Tickets are $10 and available at the Rife Center box office. Doors open at 7, show starts at 7:30. Additional performances are Saturday, November 26th at 7:30. Sunday, November 27th is a matinee with a 2 p.m. show. Then next Friday and Saturday, December 2nd and 3rd, performances are both at 7:30. This is KOZY News Director Michael Davis.